and 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heaven shall pass away with a great noise, and the element shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
And that is one of the things that the Lord bringing back with him. You understand? You took, brother say what? Garments be drenched in blood. But it also gives you examples of how it is he going and go about doing that. Which is by means of these missiles, by means of the chariots, by all these other means that the Lord have to actually bring destruction upon things.
God.
The scripture even say what? They be spirits are created for vengeance. Even around that time, they go and have all kind of craziness going on, all kind of crazy spirits out here causing mayhem. You understand? They might see behemoth somewhere causing problems.
Leviathan might win.
Yeah, men might be in the sea. Leviathan might get some fun.
That,
you understand?
That terror.
They're going to have real chaos going on in that time. That's why scriptures say there had never been a time like it, and there will never be a time like it ever after. And there have been some terrible times. If you look at history, there have been some terrible times.
You just had to pull up something from a month ago.
Yeah.
You might have to go back far. You know? You have to go back too far.
And it's going to be much worse than either of those things.
Remember verse 3 from verse 3 again?
Verse 3? Yeah, it say Joel 2 verse 3, right? It say a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. It said the land is as the garden of Eden before them.
Yeah, right before them.
And behind them a desolate wilderness. It said, yea, and nothing shall escape them.
Yeah. So what? That garden of Eden, the China described as well. For the ones who believe in this kingdom, this is their garden of Eden, this is their kingdom. Understand? So before what? Before the army of the Lord. You understand? While this kingdom still stands, yeah, it will be like a garden of Eden before us. But when we pass through and leave it, it's desolation.
And if I can say, when you look at the allegory, the comparison, when you think of how beautiful the garden was compared to, as they say, a wilderness after, that kind of transition is a big difference.
God.
You understand? Imagine picturing the Garden of Eden, how perfect it was back then. Even though the Lord said in the kingdom it's going to be even better than that.
God.
But you think how good the Garden of Eden was and how beautiful it was, all kind of trees and looking nice. And after the missiles pass through, it's just dust.
Everything's flat.
It's just dust. No, because no plants are going to be alive. All they're going to see is just dust. That's all they're going to see.
Right? If you are alive to see it.
Well, you know, they're just in the concept like that.
In Jeremiah 51 from 99. It said, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the root of his inheritance. The Most High of hosts is his name. Verse 20, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nation, and with thee will I destroy the kingdoms. You understand that why the scripture say, well, after we is going to be a desolation? You understand? When we pass through, think of an axe cut in a tree. When an axe pass through, the tree cleared up.
Well, when the missiles pass through, the Lord pass through, then we go and pass through.
Because it's desolation.
Yeah, Abaratazah, already scripture say what you say, you're going to send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them out to the cliffs of the rocks and so forth. So after everything's settled and finished, somebody has to go and get him. You know? You understand?
Verse 22. So I can read over 21. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. Verse 22. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, which goes back into the generals of the army and the heads of the army and so on. You understand?
And the followers.
Well, that is the flock. You understand? With thee also will I break in pieces. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces the captains and the rulers, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all the evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, say the Most High. Understand that? That partially going back into what the brother was talking about when he said, well, they'll be recompensed double what it did unto us.
He that lead into captivity
Shall go
into captivity.
None.
And he that killed with his sword must be killed by the sword.
So that perfect balance, good. I finished it in the journal.
It's in Isaiah 47. Start from 1, right? They say, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. It says, sit on the ground. It said, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Why? Because you call it the virgin daughter for a reason, because
Nobody
did-
touch you.
Exactly.
You're untouched.
You never, you're fresh.
Yeah.
Per se.
You're untouched.
You
Nobody has
understand?
below it here. That's why they call it the virgin daughter of Babylon.
Can.
Understand? But I don't know about everybody else, but in my community, my little village, we have a saying, dog don't make sheep. You understand? So if Babylon is our whore, daughter go be a whore as well.
They call it the daughter of harlots.
Can't.
So verse 2, right? They say, take the millstone and grind meal. They say, uncover thy locks. The thigh, they say, pass over the rivers, right? They say, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Can't.
And I'll go back
with
in
full power.
and that full that going back in because the body he going and cometh is not in a manly body.
Correct.
Right? It'll be in his full immortal power.
Correct.
And secondly, as the scriptures say what? They say according to the prophecy of the curses, when they say we're going to captivity, they say what no man shall buy you. But he not going and meet us as a man. So when he coming back to buy us, which is to redeem us out of
Coming
slavery.
back as the title.
You understand?
You understand? Yahushua HaMashiach.
As a boss.
Right.
You understand?
You're
Not as
coming back as nobody. You could pour no tree.
not like this.
You understand?
That's why first they call him a lamb, and second we put him as what a lion, conquering lion of Judah.
Come.
Right? It say verse 4, it say, as for our redeemer, because we word redeem means to what? To buy back.
Yeah.
And that is what he going to buy us out of slavery, buy us out of the curses. You understand? Take us out of all of that and put us in our correct state.
So only one buy us from the Edomites, basically.
That he purchased with his blood.
Come.
Right? Right, you see, our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, where we know Yahweh is his son, is the Most High's name, and his son is Yahweh Shai. Right? It said the Holy One of Israel. It says, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right? You see, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted thine inhabitants and given them into thine hand. You see, thou didst show them no mercy. And scripture said that, you say, mercy rejoiceth judgment.
Come.
Right? It says, show mercy unto others. It says, show mercy unto others, even though you're like, just as I like your Father in heaven to show mercy unto you. They showed us no mercy whatsoever. None. Since we came here from the boat, since they took us from places like West Africa and so forth, since the boat they showed us no mercy.
Come.
We came across here on the ships. The rape who they wanted, they throw over whoever they didn't want. From the ship come across, it was terrible. When we reach here, they beat us, rape the men, they rape the children, they rape the women. They cut the women bellies open and feed the children to alligators. They showed us no mercy. None. None at all.
Mercy for them. There's no room for mercy for them.
Mercy rejoiceth judgment, which is what they didn't have any of. You understand? So that was you could just say what? It say gonna be a cup what of exactly what it say, boy? Like a pure mixture, boy. Like no, you know? Like no dilution whatsoever. It's going to be a pure cup of anger of the Lord they're going to receive. No mercy whatsoever. Right? They say, thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient had thou very, very heavily laid thy yoke. They say, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. Because daddy mindset they have, like in Psalms. They say the inward thought is that what? Is that their dwelling places shall last. If you get that for question, I think that is Psalms Psalms 49 verse 11, I think.
Psalms 49.
Psalm 49 11, I think it is. 49 11 or 51 11. I think it's 49.
Yeah. Psalms 49:11. The inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
And now you see, even if the lands of the earth today, it's not carrying the same name that it did when you look at that ancient map. And all that goes back again, prophecy, spiritual characteristics. But they say what? They say this thing that you'll be a lady forever. That they will, everything will continue and they will always be the ones in charge. Right? They say, verse 7, they say, and thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Meaning, well, when the scriptures say that a man soweth, that shall he also reap. They wasn't thinking like that.
No,
They think
that's
that
so, I'm just giving off wickedness.
Exactly. They think
I'm
that just do it
wickedness.
forever and have nothing to pay for it. But the Most High, the scriptures say what an unjust balance is abomination to the Lord. What you sow is that you shall reap. And that is how it is. Right? They say in verse 8, they say, therefore, hear now this. Thou that art given to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, and sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Which we know, that is the spirit of these Edomites, the ones in charge. They want to be like the Most High. And they just have it in their mind that, hey, nobody is like us. We is the shit of the world. You know? So to speak from the modern definition. We is the it of the world. Nobody is in comparison to us. But that going on soon change. Right? You see, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood.
You understand? So all the allies that they have with nuclear and whatnot, understand? It wouldn't literally be dead to make them out with no more. They wouldn't be on the side no more. They would not have force. And all the generations that continued after them will be what? Will be wiped out. You understand?
The one lose everything most so this
Can't. Basically, you can't.
yeah, one day the one lose everything. Besides their own lives, for some of them because they have something to
Yeah,
do.
somebody had to go into slavery. Somebody
Yeah.
had to go through 400 years and plus of that.
Somebody had to build.
Yeah, we don't want to kill everybody. Somebody had to do
Being
something.
one build, no robots to build. Somebody had to build. You know?
Understand? We done been here for too long working.
I know you might just try to construct things with the hardest like how to go have a crane to lift this.
Nah,
You know?
handcrafted.
We went like how Egypt was. Like how the slaves had to pull it. Like how when they had like
You had
this
to tie a
like
rope
a
around
pillar
a stone and pull it up.
up.
You understand? Hook it on a pulley and 12 men on one side and the big block on the next side.
We went handcrafted is the best way to do anything. Really and truly.
Vintage.
That don't necessarily know something about put like a specific caliber, but if you print it out or like 3D printer, whenever you make something by hand, it is always be worth more.
Worth more. And when you can't handcraft, that like them advertising chocolate or anything, handcrafted chocolate
Yeah.
from this country and whatnot. Yeah, take your time and do it. We have time, don't worry about time. We in charge of time.
You see, they shall come upon thee in their perfection.
In the perfection meaning what? The fullness. You understand?
You see, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
Yeah, for your multitude of abominations basically, you know. Like that is what the scripture reading in the front words, you know. For the multitude of your abominations, the wrath will come what? With full perfection. Right?
So
Nothing would stop it, nothing would halt it.
When you take a record of all the things they do, scripture say what? They say either touch it, you touch it, the apple of his eye. You interfere with us to start with.
You are my firstborn. What you gonna do somebody who interfere with your firstborn child? I agree.
And I lash. I have that.
Come on, it's only two children here and somebody interfere with the first one. What will happen? I agree.
They say
First one is the heir to the throne.
They
So
say-
you feel what happened?
They say destroy them that destroy the earth.
Can't.
Which they doing on a perpetual level.
Can't. Every day.
Every day.
Every hour.
say to make the kings of the earth drunk with the wine of fornication, they defile everybody.
You all see princes walking and servants and chariots, right? There are princes walking and, as the brother now say, in balance as well. Abomination. How a prince could be walking and a servant and a chariot?
If you look, remember, the earth itself was created to be a paradise. And it was created to be a paradise under righteous rule. Right now, the whole earth, the scripture say all the foundation of the earth are out of course. And that's one of the things the Lord needs to do, to put it back on track. You understand?
When the wicked rule the earth on.
Right, verse 10, right? Isaiah 47, verse 10, it say, for thou hast trusted in thine wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. It said, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it had perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. And that is just like ancient Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar had end up in that same problem. Is this not this great city that I built? You understand? That the kind of spirit Nebuchadnezzar was, and that the kind of spirit that Edomites in today, and worse.
Yeah, I do all this by nobody can touch this. I do all that.
And just
and
like
knowing you was allowed to do all that.
The Lord gave it to them. And they didn't take none into consideration. Just like Nebuchadnezzar, today, mystery Babylon, they don't take none into consideration either.
The Babylon then is the Babylon now. The same, alright. The Babylon then is not the Babylon now.
It's just worse.
It's just that they have the same mannerisms or doctrine or way of thinking.
It's a perfected state. It's a perfected state of the ancient Babylon.
All the basics of ancient Babylon, they bring it.
Times plenty.
You understand? But it all comes from the basics of ancient Babylon.
And now the scriptures, that way is also referred to Esau as a cultures. Because they take that way scripture say what? They refer to them as what? Spiritually Sodom and Egypt and all these different things. Why? Because they take all the traditions of these ancient civilizations and make it a part of their own. So they have pictures of Babylon. And that also I refer to it as a statue. When we talk about Daniel, talk about Daniel 2. When we talk about Nebuchadnezzar's statue, we talk about the head, chest, the thighs and the legs. When they come all the way down, America is the feet of iron, and they took the traditions of all the kingdoms that was before it. You understand? That's why they show the characteristics of all the kingdoms before. They incorporate all of those things. You know? Just like with the Greeks and the Romans. It had the Greek gods, and then when the Romans took over, they made changes to those same gods and adapted those gods into their civilization. And this which is the modern day Roman Empire, they take things from Rome, from the Greeks, from Egypt, from Babylon, from everything.
I like how you bring up the Roman god because I was watching a video there, they concerning like astrology and whatnot, and they show you that Aries, right? Is the Roman version.
So-called god of war.
Yeah. I talk about the zodiac sign. We even reaching so far. Right? But Aries is the Roman version of Zeus, which is Greek. You understand? So
Zeus
all
is
that they just copy and change certain things and use it.
Copy and paste.
So Aries, the zodiac sign, really come from Zeus, but in the Roman version. You understand? The all powerful then. That is what he was meant to be. You know?
I want him waiting for so that when the time comes, you will never see any other shit again. Never see a statue again. You know, I hate to see them statues and then when you walk around the road and you see them flags with the big statues with the hands so and all that shit going to be done.
To be honest, I didn't even watch it. I didn't even look up. I don't just need to reach where I go. I could care less for what it is.
You say, verse 11, right? Isaiah 47, verse 11. They say, therefore, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. They say, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly.
Yeah, destruction will come suddenly. I like in Ephesians where it's Ephesians, right?
Peace and safety. Thessalonians 1:5.
Thessalonians 5. Where it say, when they take us peace and safety, suddenly. it is sudden destruction. So as soon as you relax and you rock back, yeah boy, it's kaboom.
I think that's like that Job. I think they say when you're about to fill his belly. You know, when you're about to, when he think that he actually going and be able to get wages he wants, divine intervention. And that's the hardest time. Let me pause this because this noise. I ain't gonna lie, for all the musics on the earth, you see Edomite music, I have a strong displeasure for that. I don't know why.
Only them like that.
No, there are other
Nation
music,
like that.
other music, other nations that listen to and it doesn't be that irritating, but Edomite music.
Their music, there's only them like the music. No other nation like that.
They say, and destruction shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. I show you how quick and how terrible it's going on. Because from a certain perspective, they do know it's coming. They wouldn't know exactly when. Because scripture say what? It said no man knows the day or the time. And that's why they prepare these spaceships, space stations, all these different things to fight against the Lord. It's already actually they are aware that they have a short time, as we talked about last time. They know that it's going to happen. They don't know when, but they're prepared.
The time running out.
So that when that time does come, they're hoping that they could be able to
fight against it, which
you know,
won't be able to.
to go ahead the Captain America and the Iron Man.
Yeah, which could just be useless.
Exactly. But no, but in the movies it's looked at, you know.
Yeah, but that is it. It's a movie. It's really a movie.
Let's say verse 12, right? It says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorcerers. You say, wherein thou hast labored for thy youth. If so be thou, you say, if so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. You say, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the month prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
Yeah, let all the people Edom just go to for advice, all the advisors come and save all the. Let them get all their war plan and strategy to get out of the rat of the Musa.
If I can see, I technically mocking them.
That is exactly what it is, not technically, that is what it is.
Because in the time of Babylon, it was the same thing. When you get a dream, you call all the wise men of the kingdom to answer the question, and nobody could answer.
Nobody could answer, we come back. We can't get out of the rat of the Musa. We read that earlier. We read that scripturally earlier.
None could deliver you out of his hand.
Who will deliver you? From the one who created everything and will destroy everything. Who could deliver you from that? Who? That's why the scripture also tell the men of the elect and the one to seek out your salvation with your own salvation with fear and trembling. Because your brother has, as much as every week you're coming out to do works with your brother, you might do a video, you might do a live stream with your brother. Your brother can't save him. So even you can't
save him neither.
Can't. So even you are not allowed to work out your own salvation. You understand? So basically that scripture twofold. I go for Edomites and men of the elect and the one. You understand? Who will deliver you? And then it have an next precept that goes back into even if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly stand? Which is Edom. Where shall they stand? Right?
Save judgment. I'll get out one quick. Judgment shall be there in the house of the Lord.
Can't.
Right? The scriptures say this for a reason because all the prophets refer to the Lord as the day of the Lord as what? As a day of gloominess and so forth.
Darkness.
It's not a pleasant
that is why that's the next reason why we refer to as darkness, not just because chariots will block out the sun. But it's a day of, I don't want to say emotional darkness,
terrible times.
But you know, a day of bad things. That's what I mean. Bad things going to happen whole day. 24 hours of pure terror. You know, I don't understand if people could grasp the concept of that way. How long a horror movie does be about 3 hours?
Not sometimes shorter.
Well, imagine that for 24. At this time, you can't get away from wherever it is.
I just keep forgetting the scriptures now. Get up.
What precept is that? Give me a paraphrase.
Wait, it does. Wow. Got brain freeze here. So I got brain freeze. Judgment shall begin in the house of the Lord. I know it's in First Peter, Second Peter, but I don't know why I keep forgetting where the scripture is. So up here. So I really get it. Okay, it's like here. First Peter 4 verse 17, so like here. It says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of power. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of power? So if judgment beginning at us, even rehearsing the righteous thing, trying to be how we're supposed to be, and we just had to go through some hard things sometimes.
We don't go through some.
Yeah,
we gotta go through all the hard parts first.
Yeah, so rehearsing righteousness. So if it be like that, then what end would it be to them
who
that
don't
obey
uphold the
not
law, don't believe, you understand? Or they that not even
of the household of
I don't
Israel?
want to say that they who the adoption of sons don't even pertain to.
God.
What shall the end be? You understand? I think that is in what is on Solomon also right. We say the end of them it's not envy, not the oppressor, but oh gosh. It's that one where it say, what will the end of them that rule? I know what I'm talking about now. That's not even worded, but today,
I have an idea of one, but I don't think it's exactly what you're talking
I
about.
think it's either wisdom of Solomon or Sarah. You understand? We talk about what will the end be.
We do have verse 14, right? Isaiah 47 verse 14, it says, behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves, from the power of the flame. It says, there shall not be a coal to warm it, it says, nor fire to sit before it. Right? I think I'll stop from there. And that gave me an idea what is Lord come back to do. So, yeah, make tricks,
No, I just wanted to go down in Joel 2. It's 12 verse 11 now, and then we can pick up from there. By Joel 2, 11. Like the whole prophecy now is up to verse 11. A detailed, a step-by-step detailed plan.
Which verse 4?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Joel 2 verse 4, it said, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run.
Yeah, so shall they run. As horsemen walk. The scripture says what? They will walk and not faint, they will run and not be tired. When that time comes, when the corruptible put on in corruption. Understand? When we transfigure. Go ahead.
No, but these things refer to the message themselves, because it's a breakdown of how the ICBM is going to be. In terms of, like you said, of run like horsemen.
Come on. 20 minutes, anywhere in the world, reach in 20 minutes.
It say like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap. Because I always go up, all the way up, and then come back down. Right? Shall they leap? It say like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Because what? Missiles must be what? Armored.
God.
You understand? All of them must be armored. They say, before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the walls like men of war. They say, and they shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. That's why you don't ever see missiles crashing into each other.
Everybody have a set coordinate to reach where they
You
go.
don't ever see that. There's always hit where the shot to hit.
Coordinates, wherever the coordinates send them. You understand?
They say, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
Yeah, which means they go on to stop it basically. They go into it. Understand? That is how it's going to end and we play war.
They say they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run up the wall they shall climb up upon the horses, they shall enter into the windows of the thief.
Right, so all where you feel you're safe, you wouldn't be safe from it. Because why? After a nuclear explosion happens, first thing it is what? The shockwave, then the blast, and then what? Then they have what they call the nuclear fallout. So when they say go enter in the window of the thief, even though I X amount of kilometers away from the blast site, and yeah, what's going on when the nuclear fallout happen? When the cloud, when the sky covered with nuclear ash, and the sun block out, plants can't grow, wherever rain fall, and it's chemical rain, so what? The concrete dissolving, your plants decay when the rain fall, your animals will die when they drink the rainwater. You understand? So either way you're going to be affected by it. So that's why I say that it will come in like a thief. Either way,
and the windows of the thief. And if I can say, when they go to John 10 and say, the thief cometh not, but to steal or to kill or to destroy. Really and truly, that's one of the allegories used for the rulers of this world, right? For Esau. You understand? Right, so verse 10, it said, the earth shall quake before them, the heaven shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be darkened. Shall be dark.
Nuclear fallout, when they explode the nuclear ash in the atmosphere, you're not going to see light from the solar system, from anything from up in space, the sun, moon, wherever, it's not going to shine. It's going to be 12 o'clock midday and it won't even be hot, it will just be dark.
Matrix. When he came, me and was talking in the White Room,
Can't.
and he was saying, and you were showing how the world actually look, and he say it was us that scorched the skies. And while he was looking, everything was just dark clouds, and he ain't thunder rolling right through.
That's what it's going to be like, basically.
He said, I don't know who started it, us or them, but it was us that scorched the skies. Right? They say, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. They say, and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great.
Yeah.
For he is strong that executed his word. They say, for the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it?
Yeah, who goes survive that day?
And that's a rhetorical question for the ones who understand, because the ones who will abide it is who the elect. That's why I say what? I will keep thee from our temptation. Also it's in you see about the time Jacob's trouble, you see he will deliver them out of it. The deliverance is one of the things that we're working for. That is one of the reasons why we come out here and do these things.
And that's why the Lord's person will deliver us from temptation.
You see all them people.
That is the kingdom.
You see them people. I watching around. You see the observant. I watching people passing in cars and pointing at them.
Just watching and pointing and shaking
laughing.
their head. Yeah, they're scoffing, they're shaking their head.
Laughing at
people
us.
parking up in front of us to go to the ATM next door to us and they're shaking their head.
And laughing.
You understand?
But
They're shaking their head.
But you know what?
Even Jakes, well, at least they look like Jakes. As far as we know, physical appearance, they look like Jakes.
I want to know that scripture.
Yeah,
That come to mind.
Go
Ready and truly. Scriptures say what? All joy shall turn to mourning.
No.
And all them people
Feel they
who want to laugh now, yeah, because you see,
laugh now, cry later.
exactly. That time, nobody not going to be laughing. But the elect. They say, my servant shall be joy of hearts, and ye shall be of sorrow of hearts. That's not it. I think there's Amos 8. Yeah. Amos 8, right? Amos 8 verse 11. Amos 8:11 is saying, behold, the days cometh, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. Ready? And that's how it's going to be. You understand? We're going to have a famine in this place of the word. All these people who are the word free to listen to right now and passing us straight because you're not actually seeing destruction happening. When the time comes that destruction actually started to take hold, they're going to be looking for us. They're going to be looking to hear the word because they would know that Christianity not teaching it. Islam, none of them things teaching it.
They can't no religion are dominant at all.
Not going to be teaching it. And they will be looking. Right? They say, verse 12, they say, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. And we comforted in that also. Knowing that, hey, everything going on flipping that time. You understand? Whereas they're going to be laughing at us. But in that time, they're going to be the one sorrowful. You understand? And we take joy in knowing that. That's why we don't mind being an open spectacle for the Lord.
Yeah.
We don't mind.
In this time, man, there's no problem.
Yeah.
This,
Let them laugh. They say he who laughs last.
Laugh the best. The precept is in Romans 8:2. This is what little compared to the exceeding glory, but this is nothing. Well, pass and laugh every Sunday. Let them pass and laugh.
That exceeding,
no problem.
That exceeding glory starts with salvation.
Can.
It starts with the protection of the Lord when disaster hits.
And now our temptation.
People, they will understand that in that time to come.
So I bring them this precept to close up here.
Yeah.
This is Isaiah 65 and verse 14. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit, and ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For the Lord power shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name.
And that way I talk about, we say, in wisdom of Solomon, it says, this the men. You understand? These are the guys.
I come to the life of madness, boy.
Yeah.
You see them picture of you every Sunday, boy. I thought they were madmen, and they just up in a bed shit with something hanging down. I see them going mad, boy. You know them are serious fellas? Yeah, they're not serious, man. They realize some man on your phone telling them about the sky black.
They started to see it now, but
understand?
it didn't hit yet, so you know they're still in the mind piece and stuff.
But they realize you pull your curtain early in the morning, you see the sun shining, and all you see is this bright light coming towards you.
And that is
when that nuclear hit, you go no.
And that is what we patiently wait for. Patiently wait for that time, and we can get out of this place and into our inheritance.
Can't.
You know? Well, it was up now.
And with that we say Kal Halal, Wahawad Laya, Hawasham Yoshai, Basham Hakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Gms.S.O.T.E. we welcome. Peace and salutations unto the brothers and the folk on the word in truth and in sincerity.
Good time too, you know. Can you see the guy coming to the mic and the
yeah, can.
Good time.
You know? So to the brothers that's still pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, still saying, but what Lababel, we come, we say Shalom.
And one or two sisters that actually listen and try to
Shalom.